goodness, I am so excited about today, because if there's any topic that I truly love for agents, by agents, it's all about how do I create more business, right? It's lead generation. This is what we do, right? If you're not in the business of lead generation, you're not in business because you got no business. And so what's really fun about today is we've got a guy who is an absolute expert. He's done it all, built teams, built brokerages, done the coaching, done everything you can possibly imagine, top producer. This guy's amazing. And I've hung out with him. We've spent time in multiple conferences now, got to pick his brain, and I realized he's really smart. Like, this is really awesome. And he builds big systems that create big business. And when we hear the word system, sometimes we get freaked out. We're like, oh, that sounds super complex. And what I love about smart people is that they have a great way of making complex things easy to digest, right? Easy to implement and easy to execute for those of us who do this, right? So that's awesome. And we've got Kevin Hawkins in the house, top producer. So happy that you are spending time with the community today. My man, really, really excited. Thanks for being here.
What's up, guys? How are we doing? Thanks for being here. I'm super stoked. This is something that we love talking about in our world. And I know that, gosh, in a lot of the people that are probably in this room already, this is probably going to be preaching to the choir. But let's talk a little bit about some of my history and where I've been and kind of my journey. Because I think it's important to know where a lot of us are at and how you get started, and then kind of where business might take you. So for me, I got started in real estate. I'm 33 years old. I got started in real estate when I was 21. So in 2011, I got licensed, and I was fortunate enough to have an amazing mentor who was really, really good at selling real estate, but really, really terrible at about everything else. And so she could get deals done. She was a practitioner, a true practitioner in the business. And she was amazing. But what I didn't realize was what I was missing out with lead generation, systems, organization, some of the things that are so important. Keeping your business, creating business. And so what we had really done is just handle what was in front of us. And in a small town like the one we're in, we're blessed to really get a lot of business from local people. Our sphere is quite large. And so if I turned off the lead generating machine and just handled what was in front of me, I can stay very, very busy, especially when the market's good. It's not hard to be successful when the market's good. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about what the goals are for lead generating and what moving forward looks like. And again, this is not a one size fits all. This may not be what you need to do in your business, but what I can say is that if you commit to a lead generating practice in your business, you will 100% see more return clients. You will see happier clients, and you'll see new business that you may not have seen before. So a little bit about me. Like I said, I started in real estate when I was 21. I worked at Remax. I transitioned to a boutique brokerage for 5 or 6 years. And then I started my own brokerage. I ran that for 5 years. And then I moved into EXP in early 22. We transitioned our brokerage into an EXP team. And we have been loving life. We really found that EXP gave us a lot of relief from some of the pain points, especially as a broker. A lot of the leverage that we were able to handle, that we were able to get with EXP, relieved some of our pain points as a broker. So I'm a team leader. I'm still in production though. This year I'll do probably about 30 million in volume personally. Last year I did about 20 million. 20 million is kind of my number, but we've just got some extra stuff in progress this year. So just blessed to be busy. And again, I can give all credit to, besides the big guy upstairs, to getting systematic with our approach. So again, I'm going to be busy no matter what. I'm going to be successful. If a computer and a calendar and a CRM don't exist, I'm still going to hustle, because that's what I've always done. And for the first 10 years of my business, I had no clue what I was doing. And that sounds crazy. Like I said, I was a practitioner in real estate. I could sell houses. I knew the process really, really well. But what we as real estate agents forget is to think about our business not as being a real estate agent, but as an entrepreneur, as a business person. And sometimes you get caught in the weeds of being a realtor and just selling real estate, showing properties, writing offers, putting out fires. You're doing that stuff all day long. And if you're not careful, you will just do real estate stuff all day long. And you can be busy doing that. And it's just kind of like chaos, right? I think we can all agree that once you get busy, you get 15, 20 escrows. I don't know if you guys have had that kind of business, but if you get 15, 20 escrows going at once, even if you've got 5 or 10 and you got the wrong clients, your life is crazy. Your life is crazy. And it seems like you cannot catch up. I'm here to tell you, don't have to live that life. I did it for way too long, and it is not it's not manageable. I just don't think that you can be in the business for 35 years, 40 years and be able to run like that. I mean, it's not healthy, first of all. You start seeing real estate agents that are unwell. They're not lasting in the business. They're depressed, they're drinking, they're getting divorced. There's issues. There's a lot of personal issues in real estate, and a lot of it comes back to the unhealthy lifestyle that we put ourselves into. So my goal is to get a little bit more of a 1,000-foot view here and leverage my own business a little more. So before we jump into what the systems look like, I want to talk about a couple little things that are going to be real foundational, at least for me. And again, this is for me. And if I offend you, I'm sorry. But this is where I've really found success in my business. And I've also seen a lot of these issues with newer agents coming into the business. So first thing, I think it's important, and I think I mentioned this, but to treat your business, your real estate business, like a true business. This is something that real estate agents aren't doing. Generally speaking, they're waking up, they're rolling out of bed at whatever time is comfortable, they're having coffee, they're chilling, they're not coming into work at the same time, whether that be your home office or if you have a brick and mortar, whatever that is, you're not scheduled. I think this is people get into real estate because of the flexible schedule. If that is the reason why you have gotten into real estate, I'd say get out now, because a flexible job it is, but you shouldn't approach real estate with the idea of I'm in this business because it's flexible. Again, some of us are stay-at-home moms, and maybe this is a part-time gig for us. But for those of you that this is your deal, you've got to make it. You have to make it work. Then you must focus on this first. And by the way, if somebody has a question, raise your hand. I'd love to raise your hand anytime. I'd love to stop and touch base on it, because I think that this is a really fun conversation that we can have on anything. So if you've got a thought or a question, just let me know. But anyways, just getting really, really pointed about when you're coming into work. And a lot of real estate agents want to hit that ideal of a 4-hour work week. Like there's these books, 4-hour work week, work less, become wildly successful in a 4-hour work week, whatever. That's great if you can do that. But my thought for you is, if you have not already arrived at where your goals are, you need to master the 40-hour plus work week. So if you're in real estate and you are wanting to grow your business, if you're in real estate and you're not already making, let's just put a number on it. Like for me, if I'm not already making $500,000 a year in real estate, I'm working full plus time, always, no matter what, every day of the week. I don't care if it's President's Day. I'm not taking extra. We're not taking state furlough days. We're working Saturdays. And we're not stopping. We have to be relentless in our approach. The real estate market right now is probably worse than it's been in 6 or 7 years. It's pretty rough right now. But you can be really, really busy right now. Like I said, I'm going to do more volume this year than I've ever done. And you can do more business every year if you choose to get aggressive. Getting aggressive is going to be the key. So there you go right there. Treat your business like a business. And that goes into accounting. That goes into your entire approach with your real estate business. Don't treat it like a side job. It's not. It's your primary gig. You need to treat it that way. So separate your business accounts. Get scheduled. You'll find more success that way. So, so anyways, there's one. the next thing before we get into systems is this is a very important one to me. And this was one of the hardest things. I'm still working into this one, but thinking of your life on the calendar. Every single thing in your life needs to be on the calendar. I know that sounds crazy. It sounds weird, especially because we live in a flexible, like with your showings and with things that are outside of work, not just work things. Every single thing in your life, if it's important to you, it needs to be on the calendar. And what this will allow you to do, it actually gives you more freedom, guys. I know it's for those of us who put the important things on the calendar, that's great. Put your vacations on the calendar, time out of town, kids' baseball games, that's good. Put those things on the calendar. But down to the little things, every single thing needs to be on the calendar. And for me, the way I think about it is, if it's not on my calendar, it's not important to me. And sometimes that hits home in kind of a hard thing. It's like, hey, if it's not on my calendar and my kid's baseball game, for example, it is important to me. But if I don't put it on there and then I schedule something, because again, I'm one track minded. If I have a client who says, hey, Kevin, I want to look at property this evening, I don't think about anything else. I don't think about my wife. I don't think about my kids. I don't think about anything else. I think about what's on my calendar. If I go to my calendar and it's open, I'm scheduling it. Unfortunately, if I was too selfish to think about my kids the week before or my wife the week before and what was important to us, I would have put it on my calendar then. And unfortunately, this is where you start having chaos in your life, is because of a lack of responsibility, a lack of taking ownership, and a lack of aggression in your business. And if the moment you take responsibility for your life, then you'll start seeing things get less chaotic. That's really a thing here, is like reducing the chaos and increasing the productivity. I know that for me, I felt like for a long time, the chaos was like a badge of pride. I was so busy all the time. I felt really successful because I was busy. And I think that's kind of a bunch of bullshit. I mean, I think that ultimately being busy means nothing. What's important is how much money is in the bank at the end of the month, how many escrows are you closing, how much time are you spending with your family, how happy are you, how happy are those around you. So this isn't just about selling way more real estate. This can be just about getting more peace in your life. I mean, our goals here at Alder Point is just to have our agents be happier. That's really like a big one. And sometimes being happier means being more financially settled, doing more business. Other times it means, hey, I want to do the exact same amount of business, but I want to reduce my stress like significantly, right? So reduce the stress, reduce the wasted time significantly. And these systems will allow you to do that. So, and again, I didn't invent these things. These are things that I've picked up along the way, and it's taken a few different iterations for us to really implement them and to stick to them. This is like, think about this as a New Year's resolution of trying to go to the gym, and you haven't been going and you keep trying to go, but for some reason it just falls between the cracks. That's my love affair with getting systematic. And it finally takes sometimes a breaking point in your life or in your business to realize I can no longer not be serious about this. I can no longer not be committed to this process. I've got to make it work. If it doesn't work, I don't know what's next, but there are going to be serious side effects in my life and in my business. And so I've had these moments throughout my life, but again, I've always known that it would be a good idea to get systematic, but I always thought, you know what, I don't need to, because I can handle enough business in front of me. I'm busy enough in my small town. I've always got people knocking on my door. I don't need to. But once we started really getting into this process of like getting systematic, we've found a lot of freedom in it. So anyways, that's my soapbox on getting responsible, guys. And I think that most of you are probably already there. But that's something that we talk about in our office a lot, and it's accountability with yourself. And one of the things that we love about team life is we can be accountable to other people. So having a mentor, having somebody that you're in business with, even if it's just a friend in the business, accountability is super important, and getting structured. So structure and accountability, like my goals, I always have a couple different phrases for myself, my annual goals, my monthly goals, weekly goals. And gosh, for the last while, structure and accountability has been in my goal, my goal words for a long time, because I need more structure. I need more accountability. I can sell real estate. The other things, these are hard. Systems are hard. So anyway, go ahead.
I was just going to add, man, first off, thanks for being here. You're a rock star, dude. Really appreciate you.
What's up, Mike?
But man, I wanted to say about the accountability thing, man. I think that's huge. I'm glad to hear you say that, being as successful as you are. The thing I want to remind everybody, and this is just me because I had a personal experience with it recently, is don't get your feelings hurt when somebody holds you accountable, right? Like if you're reaching out, you want to be successful, this is your gig, don't get your feelings hurt. It's a dog eat dog world. If you want to be successful, accountability is a real necessity. But you absolutely cannot get your feelings hurt. I love accountability partners that truly reach out, check in, and hold me accountable. So I really appreciate that, man. That's huge.
Absolutely. I love it. Yeah, that is, that's a hard one. And it's hard to hear your faults from somebody else that has their own faults. But again, what you're wanting is to grow. So if you're wanting somebody to make you feel good about yourself, maybe don't get an accountability partner. But if you're wanting somebody to help you actually grow, accountability is going to be really helpful. I mean, gosh, my team, we have such a wonderful group of people here that I'm the team leader. I still have wonderful accountability partners with my agents. In fact, I was having a talk the other day with one of my agents, and I was like, man, I'm really struggling with, I can't even remember what we're talking about, but I'm really struggling with this interaction with these types of clients. And she goes, well, you know what I think? And I said, what? She goes, you need to listen more. You're talking too much. You're not hearing what they're saying, because she's in the office next door. And so it's like, you know what? You're absolutely right. I love that. I need to shut up. Sometimes I just need to shut up and listen, right? And so these accountability moments, you can choose to get your feelings hurt. You can allow yourself to be sensitive. But again, as real estate agents, we have to be alphas. We got to be alphas. We've got to be able to take space and be aggressive. So, okay. So let's jump into lead generation, guys. This can mean a lot of different things for different people, but I'm going to take you through my workflow. I'm going to take you through what our workflow looks like, what we are doing. And I'm going to talk about some other different systems as well, because I've got some really amazing mentors in the business at this point, and everybody does these things like a little bit differently. And there's not one right way. What I do know is you've got to start doing it, and then you'll figure out what works for you. Like where do you find that things are working, what's not working? The only way you'll find out is if you are continually doing them. And then you'll start getting a feel for it. And again, it's a very personal thing, but some of these things are universal. This first one, totally universal. So contacts. You need to have your contacts in one place. Now, raise your hand. I'm going to get my view here so I can see everybody. Raise your hand if you have a list of every single contact, either people you've sold homes to, people you know, friends, and people that are currently in your pipeline, if you have all of your contacts in one place. Okay.
Actually, you know what? Hit us up in the chat, because I want to see some names. Just put yes in the chat for Kevin's question here. If you have all of your contacts in one place, Christine says, yep. Joanne, nope. Kaylin, yes. Steve, yep. Zoe, yes. Natasha, no. Gail, yes. Olga, yes. Jeff, yes. Scott, yes. Linda, yes, but not updated. There you go, Kevin.
Good. Okay. So this is, I'm glad to see that many people that are on top of it. That's amazing. I was not one of those people. So if you're an experienced agent, those are the people that you're going to focus on. So you want to get people you sold homes to, people that you know, and my test on people who you know, who I know, who are my people. For me, the test is if I'm in the grocery store and I see somebody and I'm stopping and at least saying, hey, how's it going? And walking off, not even feeling committed to a conversation, but hey, good to see you sort of thing. That person should be in my database. And that person may not necessarily think of me as their agent. I don't care. It doesn't matter. They are a person that knows who I am. And so I'm going to make sure to market to them. So if you are, so here we go. So past clients, people you know, people that, so friends, family, and then sphere people. And then you've got people that you think you may do business with, and then people that you are currently doing business with. That's a great group of people that need to go into a database. And you can use your phone. A lot of people just go through their phone and just start writing down these names, put it on an Excel spreadsheet is probably the easiest way to go. Get that information down. Now, what if you're new to the business? I'm sure we have some new people here and you haven't done this. Number one requirement for me with new agents is you need to get some contacts to get started. So I say, if you're a new real estate agent, minimum 100 names of people that you can market to, minimum 100 names. This is not my system. This is more of a Brian Buffini system, but I like it. And we've adopted this. And this is something that I see a lot of team leaders doing, which they basically say, hey, if you want to come and work here, you're brand new, cool. We like your energy. We like that you're obviously licensed, you're ready to go, but you bring nothing to the table. You bring no business to the table. Well, that's fine. Let's teach you how to create business from your own group of people. Okay. Start off by 100 people. If you don't know 100 people, if you're in a market that you're new to, or for whatever reason, you don't have very many friends or family, those people exist too. You better get involved, because if you can't come up with 100 names, you've got serious problems. You've got serious problems in your market. And I have very little hope that you'll be selling any homes anytime soon. So if you have 25 names, great. That's 25 names. That's a start. I want you to take the next 2 months to get involved in some church, some social organization, nonprofit, fire department. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Find a group of people that are adults. They don't have to be rich. They don't have to be wealthy. They can be normal people. And you need to start leveraging relationships. I do think that as real estate agents, we start thinking about friends, family as potential sales, which is kind of a gross reality, but that is the business we're in, people. So it is a reality that you have to start thinking about people as contacts. And again, when you start thinking about how you interact with these contacts, it will feel less gross, because we'll jump into what that actually looks like. But you need to, let's see what somebody says here. Yeah. So yeah, 100 people, you need to get those names. If you're, if you are, like I said, seasoned to the business, bring those names in, put them on a list. If you already have a CRM, great. But we're going to touch on what CRMs look like next. So choose your weapon, choose your poison with CRMs. There are 1,000,001 CRMs would be customer relationship or customer retention management programs. But ultimately what a CRM is going to do for you guys, once you get that list, is it's going to help you deal with them. So for me, let's talk CRMs. In the chat, I'd love to hear what you guys are using for CRMs. Obviously, as EXP, we get KV Core. And KV Core is not a bad product. I think, I think KV Core does its job. And for some people, KV Core is super cool. It's an all-in-one. So you get a CRM, you get a website, you get an opportunity you have ad profiles through there. So you can do social media ads, you can do Google Click stuff, you can do all sorts of cool stuff through KV Core. We found after a while of working through it that it just didn't quite work with our workflow. But we'll jump into what we're using. And then, again, you could use KV Core, Follow Up Boss. Brian Buffini has a really, if technology is not your friend, Brian Buffini has a really, really good, simple, good system that's called Referral Maker, and it is stupid easy to use. And it's a nice system. There's obviously Salesforce for those of you, those nerds out there, PowerPoint, Lion Desk, there's all sorts of different systems out there. And they're not necessarily good and bad ones. I think that really just comes down to your workflow on what you like. We use Follow Up Boss. We transitioned a couple months ago from KV Core. And I will tell you, for us, Follow Up Boss is like a game changer in regards to CRMs. And again, if you're using this system every single day, you're going to find things that you like and you don't like. So what I found difficult about KV Core, just for those of you that are using KV Core, if you haven't used other ones, I found it difficult to be as thorough as I wanted with certain groups of people. So I wanted to, we'll jump into kind of like the time frame of how I want to reach out to people. But for me, in the system that I want to reach out to people in certain time frames, I just found that it was difficult through KV Core. I didn't feel like the system was really built well for how we wanted to use it. So,
hey, quick question, Kevin. I love this, man, and you are absolutely crushing it. It's such good information. Like we used Follow Up Boss in our team, and when we were scaling up, it worked great, and KV Core kind of simultaneously. Did you roll one down and the other one up? Did you link them together? Are they like communicating through an API? What are you doing? I'm just curious, kind of for the more nerdy ones out there,
We had them both go. So basically, I rolled into from a very uncommitted relationship with Buffini's referral maker. Like I said, I was kind of that uncommitted. I had stuff in there, but it wasn't something we were doing every day. And then once we transitioned into KV Core, it became something we used every day. And once we transitioned from Follow Up Boss to Follow Up Boss, we did keep KV Core going, and we still have it. Obviously, you don't ever get rid of it when you're in EXP.
Sure. It's just intake and it ports over.
Yeah, and so it's good to have it plugged in because you do have a website with KV Core. You should 100% get an API integration with Follow Up Boss because with your KV Core, because you might as well not miss out on any lead sources. So what I would do is if I wanted to try out transitioning, keep them both live, and I would get an API key straight over from KV Core into Follow Up Boss, and then no matter what comes into KV Core, it's gonna kick over to Follow Up Boss.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I will say, by the way, if you're a solo agent on here and you're kind of getting going and you're still ramping up to 24 or 36 units a year, you don't need multiple systems running. I'm just going to preface this. Like Kevin is playing a game that I hope everyone aspires to, which is winning at the very highest level in our industry. And I love that. At the same time, I will tell you guys, you don't need to go spend more money. You're at EXP, you get KV Core for free. Like our team took that to over 160 units. It works great. It's not broken. And at the same time, I will say, if you're looking for, Kevin's bingo term is accountability, and Follow Up Boss is like, puts everyone in a headlock in terms of accountability. And I know that's why you love it, which is rad.
Yeah. And I like KV Core a lot for reasons that I think there are some really amazing things about KV Core that you're not getting at Follow Up Boss. So the fact that KV Core is, and again, I hope I'm not shitting on KV Core. I actually really like this.
Not at all, man. Speak your truth.
For me, KV Core has some really amazing attributes that we do miss. And that would be the all-in-one aspect to KV Core is really nice. We didn't use the advertising thing so much, but what we really like is that when you go into KV Core and you see your list of clients, you can also see that what activity they've been searching on your KV Core website, and it just plugs in very nicely. It's not even a plugin, it's a built-in. And so when your clientele starts coming through that website, it's very seamlessly speaking to their activity. Each client has an activity board. You walk into their system, they have an activity board. And you can see, hey, they looked at these properties. Your automatic alerts are very seamless. And so for that reason, again, with that system right there, you are saving a ton of money. And Jeff is absolutely right. When you go away from KV Core and you want that same amount of integration, you're going to spend some money. So my opinion is try and make KV Core work with your workflow because it's free and it is a very good system. For us, we're doing enough business to where I want workflow to be more in line with how we're working. And so spending $1,000 a month, which sounds like a lot, with the integrations it takes is worth it for us. But it may not necessarily be worth it for you. That's a lot of money for people, especially if you're a solo agent. And I will say, I didn't say this in the beginning, but this is systems that you as a solo agent can be doing. But also if you're a team leader and you're looking to train up your agents and get some accountability and get them in a system to where they're lead generating, you can get them all in this system too. So I do this personally as a solo agent, but also I provide this system and my team and I we dialogue about this, and I want them on this system as well. In fact, I'm always putting pressure on them. Every week we're talking about what's your activity in the CRM? How are you guys doing? And in fact, for us, if they're not lead generating at a 75% level, they're not eligible to take team leads. So like for us, again, team leads are for people that commit to lead generating in their own business, not my business, their business. I just want to see that they've got skin in the game with their business before they start taking my business. So again, you can provide this sort of model for your team, and also you can do it for yourself. These are going to be great systems that you guys can do. And again, these are built out systems that you don't have to invent, guys. These systems are already there. I'm just here to try to help introduce you to the conversation of how you might use them. So yeah, KV Core makes that very, very nice. And I actually really, really dig that. We've, with Follow Up Boss, we have had to integrate a number of different systems to create the same sort of environment, which is automatic listing alerts that speak to our CRM, and then we can monitor their activity. So it does take a little bit more, but Follow Up Boss does have more integrations than KV Core as well. So you're going to see as a bigger system, Follow Up Boss has significantly more integrations with other systems. So, okay, here's the deal. You've got your clients. They're now on a list. Maybe they're on a CSV. Maybe they're in your CRM. Okay, what do you do next? They're in your CRM. They're all there. And is that it? Is that success? You've finally arrived. Your people are in the CRM. No, it's not. And I was there once where I had all these people in here finally. Now what do I do with them? How do I get a hold of them? Who do I reach out to? How often do I reach out to them? What am I calling them? Am I texting them? Am I emailing them? Where does it all kind of make sense? For me, the next part is going to be staging them or categorizing them. Again, a lot of you, this is not surprising stuff, but I was one of these people where this was like mind blowing. So stage them, categorizing them. You've got to make some educated guesses here on where they're at, your clients are at, your friends are at, your people are at. Write this next part down if you want. This is where I'd say this is 9 or 10 stages. I want every single client, every person in my life is going to go on one of these lists. They're pretty self-explanatory. Past clients. For me, past clients is not people that I've showed properties to and haven't bought property. These are only people that I've sold property to. Past clients. Number 2. Sphere. These are going to be people that maybe you've shown property to, these are friends, these are family, these are possible referral people. Your sphere is a very large group, and it is arguably past clients and sphere are your 2 most important groups. We're going to talk about how often to talk to those people. The next 3 are going to be your pipeline people. These are 3 different categories for each one. And again, talk about it however you want. We talk about these as hot. And hot is going to be people that we think will transact in the next 1 to 3 months. Some people also call them A. So that could be your A clients. Buffini talks about these as A clients. Well, that's not true. But these are your A type clients. So hot, A, 1 to 3 months. That's one category. Boom. Next client, warm. This is going to be your B client. Warm, B. This is 3 to 6 months. These are people that you think are going to be transacting in 3 to 6 months. And again, these stages are fluid. So you could put somebody like, oh, dude, this guy's hot to trot. He's going to buy right away. And then maybe after getting some time with him, you realize that may not be the case. And so you bounce him to warm or cold. Cold being 6+ months. And that is not necessarily, I mean, cold is a category that if I think they're going to transact in 2 years, but I know they're going to transact, they've told me we're going to move up there in 2 years, I'll put them in cold because that's still 6+ months, although it seemed way longer than 6 months. What's important is how often I talk to them. And we're going to go back to that in a second. I want to get through these stages, and then we're going to talk about how often do we talk to them. So you got hot, warm, cold. Those are pretty basic, right, guys? We've heard about those. We always think about clients as, are they ready to go? Are they a little ways out? Are they quite a ways out? Hot, warm, cold. The next group of clients is, I'm just going to call these listings, because once you transition a client out of hot, you kind of want to change the way that you talk to them if they're a listing. Same with buyers. If you get them in contract, you're going to put them under the next, which would be pending. or you could put them, I mean, call them whatever you want, pending, escrow, whatever you want. For me, it's listings, pending. So those are two different categories. I've got another category here, which is confusing, but I'll explain why. This one is closed. I've got a category of people that I call closed. These are also people that I've only sold homes to. What's the difference with these people? I don't like them very much, and I don't want to talk to them very much, but I want to keep them in my pipeline. I want to keep my pipeline, and I want to make sure and market to them. It sounds cruel, but I know you're lying if you say you have clients that you've sold homes to that you don't necessarily want to talk to. So like, I've got my people that I love talking to, that I want to make sure I nurture those relationships. And then I have people that I don't enjoy as much. I don't get joy out of the interactions, but I have sold homes to them. And I want to make sure and still bring value to their lives. I want to make sure and market to them, but I'm going to save myself the heartache and the grief and limit my conversation with them a little bit more. Again, I don't want to get rid of them unless they're really nasty people. Then just, well, we have a trash file as well. But these are the people that you just get a little bit less joy out of, a little bit less joy out of life, and you're gonna want to talk to them a little bit less. It's important to have this group because I think that once you start doing business a lot, you're gonna have plenty of these crazy, cray people, as people like to say, the crazy ones. So the next list is going to be trash, and these are people that either they're not interested in buying, there's a lead that came through, it's somebody that is like hangs up on you the moment they call. You call them 10 more times, they still hang up on you. Those are going to be your trash people. We'll talk more about how you use them. And then the last one really should be the first one, but this is lead. So a lead is a prospect that you have not talked to. And so, okay, so those are our groups. How often do we talk to these people? Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 categories. Each one of them is going to be broke down for me in a different time frame. So past clients, sphere, same group of people here. Oh, Desiree, you got a question?
Yeah, so I have one more group of people. I have people that I've never sold houses to, but they do send me referrals. Where do you put them?
I would put them in sphere, and I would also hopefully you have a system that will allow you to tag these types of people, but I would put them in sphere, and then I would tag them VIP. I would tag them referral clients. And what that will allow you to do is to market them a little differently. You could create a VIP list. A lot of people will also do a VIP list. For me, I treat my sphere and my past clients all as VIPs, people that I want to treat very, very special. But everybody has I should say a handful of really special clients that maybe they don't transact with you because they've already got their house, they're already dialed in. But
hey, Kevin, do you mind if I just took notes on that? And do you mind if I just screen share that for everyone if they want to just grab like a quick screenshot of your categories there?
Yeah, absolutely. You want me to jump in there?
Rock and roll. Here we go, everybody. Feel free to grab like a quick screenshot of that if you want it. Since he was rolling those out, I know some of us are visual learners, and I figured I'd give that to you guys. Boom. All right, we'll put it up again at the end if any of you need it.
Yeah, and if anybody needs help with this afterwards, just reach out to me directly. I'm happy to help. This stuff is like, again, this stuff is not complicated, but it's kind of like, once you get into it, you're kind of like, where do I start? And so, again, I've had to really work with people that do 10 times the business that I do and learn what their systems are. And I'm just stealing their systems. Like, this is really not something that I've come up with at all. It's really something that I've just taken from people that are mentors to me and just taking their systems and figuring out how it works for us. So, Desiree, I do like your thought there. And my response is, great. If you want to make a special group for those people, call them whatever you want. Call them VIPs. You can call them A+ clients, whatever you want. The most important thing there is that you take care of them. And again, we're going to jump into providing value to these people. But these timeframes, what do these timeframes mean? Well, and what are you doing? So we've got now we've got the names in the we've got a CRM. We've got them in the CRM. We've got time frames on how often we need to be speaking with them. But what does talking to these people look like? We're so transactional, at least for me, I'm so transactionally minded. For most of my career, once I sold a home to somebody and they were happy, very important to me that they were happy, I didn't I don't need to talk to you anymore unless you need to sell your house, then I'll talk to you. But I don't feel a need to reach out to you. I don't feel a need to call and say hi. I have moved on to the next person. And I don't think that's necessarily good. I think that's probably more of a personality flaw than anything. But that's really where I've been. In fact, early in my career, if I got a call from a client that I'd sold a house to, I almost had a blood pressure bout where I was like, I hope they're not calling to complain. I hope they're unhappy with the house, whatever. Like I really didn't want to speak to my clients after we sold them a home. I just felt like it was noise that I didn't need to deal with because I wanted to focus on what was in front of me. And that could not be farther than the truth. Really, the focus needs to be on the people that you've sold homes to. They've already trusted you. And if you're going to really build a pipeline of business for yourself, those are the people, if you've done a good job, that will really help grow your business. So these people, you've got them on a list. What are you doing with them? Well, I think you can do a number of things, but let's jump into really quickly before we jump into what do you do with them. Let's talk about when do you do it. So for me, I'm lead generating every single day. It's scheduled. It's on my calendar. On my calendar, I start my day off. So I lead generate. I tried to start at 8 a.m., but for some reason, I just can't prioritize that time frame. So I start at 9 a.m. I lead generate from 9 a.m. hard stop. I don't do anything else. I show up at my office. A few minutes before, I get a virtual Zoom up. I get a virtual Zoom up with my team if they don't want to be in the office, and we have a Zoom link up. Cameras on, volume off, and we are lead generating from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, every single day. And what that does for me is, again, consistency is key with these things, especially when you start having time frames. Going back to our time frame there, every 90 days, I need to be doing something. Oh, wait, did we talk about that, Jeff? Did we talk about how often I want to talk to these people?
No.
Oh, we didn't. Okay, we're going to jump into that. So scheduling my lead generating is going to make sure that I don't get behind. Because again, thinking about this as going to the gym, getting in shape, losing weight, if you can't get consistent, you really won't get results. So consistency is the key to results here. So let's talk about how often I want to talk to these people. So past clients and sphere. I want to speak to these people every 90 days. So every 90 days, I'm going to speak to these people one time. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to speak with them in person. There's a couple different ways that you can really leverage your time. And it's important to know your client base. How do they want to be? Where do they get value? So think about this as providing value to your clients. So before you can ask for business, before you can ask for referrals, before you can ask for their listings, their buyers, whatever, you have to give them something. You cannot take before you give. You must give them something. And so we are giving value to our clients. Value to our clients in the form of a number of different ways, starting with personal interactions that give them something. So for example, every 90 days, past clients and sphere people, well, I better know when their birthdays are. I better know if they're getting married. I better know if they're having anything exciting going on in their lives. Facebook is a very wonderful tool to kind of start leveraging some of these life events. But even if without a life event, you can call them and a very simple question. Again, I don't have anything to talk to you about. What am I going to call them? It's so awkward. If you can't call somebody you know and have a conversation, again, this is going to be really hard with people you don't know. So start your process off with just saying, hey, I know it's been a while since we talked. I wanted to call and see how you're doing. And listen. Again, going back to where professionals win here is by talking less and listening more. People want to talk to you. You're an important person to them. You sold them their home. You're a pillar in your community. You are a successful entrepreneur. You're interesting. You're smart. People are excited to talk to you. Sometimes we don't feel that way, but the truth is people like you. They chose to work with you once because they thought you were cool. They thought you were a pro. Remember that. They have already given you the go ahead that they like you, that they want to use you, that they think you're great. So at this point, get interested in their life, reach out. How you doing? Hey, I want to check in on you. It's been a couple months since we talked. I want to check and see how you're doing and listen. You can do that with a text message. You can really get dynamic and do it with video text messages. So you can do it through BombBomb. You can do it through just your iPhone. I'll tell you what, I've got lots of clients who I'll just take a video like this. Hey, Robert, it's Kevin. Hey, I was thinking about you this morning. I got into the office. I just wanted to reach out and say hi. Hope all is well. Hope you're doing well. Hope the kids are well. Let me know if you need anything. I'm here for you. Send. That's it. I'll take 20 of those videos. And what do I get? I get, dude, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. It's really good to hear from you. Life is good. Kids are great, man. Hope you're well. Like something like that. And then a lot of times I get nothing, but that's okay because I don't need that to be a two-way conversation. What I need to let them know is that I have not forgot about them. Their relationship is very important to me. And so that's what I want them to know. I want them to know Kevin thinks about me sometimes. Kevin thinks about me regularly. And guess what? Kevin keeps thinking about me. He keeps thinking about me. It's not just a one-time thing. He didn't just think about me once, but guess what, man? That guy called me 6 months ago. He called me again 3 months ago. He called me again this morning. And he's like relentless. He's a pit bull. He never forgets about me. How does he remember to call me? It's insane. He's probably sold 600 homes, 500 homes, 100 homes. How is he remembering to call me? Was I that important to him? Man, I must have had an impact on him. And so again, I want this self-talk in my clients because I want them to think, dang, this guy either really likes me or he is a straight gangster at business. And I like both of those realities. To me, I want my clients to feel married to the relationship. And I also want them to think that I'm a pro. So anyways, okay, 90 days, sphere and past clients. Okay. Moving into hot. I want to talk to my hot leads, my hot prospects every 7 days, every single 7 days at least. And that is barring that we're not actually looking at property. That's if on the bare minimum every 7 days. My warm leads, I want to speak with them again, provided we're not looking at property, we're not writing contracts, every 14 days. So every 14 days, these people are being touched. And these are calls, texts. Emails do not count. Don't use email. I mean, I think email for communication is amazing, but we're getting personal with these two. You're going to market to all of these people with email weekly. So anyways, 14 days. Cold, 6 months plus, once a month, every 30 days. These people need to be reached out to. These people, text message is great. Hey, Bob, it's Kevin. Hey, just want to reach out to you, buddy. Hope all is well. Nothing's new on the market. I just sent you a list of everything that we've been seeing, but I don't think anything's going to interest you. I'm not going to spend much more time than that. Again, it means a lot to people that they're not really serious, but you're taking time out of your day to just connect with them. So every 30 days, that's going to be cold leads. Moving on, 7 days for listings, 7 days for pending. This is just updates. This is a good rule of thumb for those of you, those practitioners out there who want to keep their clients happy. If you ever wonder how somebody keeps an overpriced listing for 3 years without getting fired, the answer is that they are reaching out to that client every week. They are reaching that client regularly, and they are giving them updates, even if there is no update. And especially if you have to call your listings, if you've made a commitment to yourself and to your clients that you're going to reach out to them weekly, you're going to have a lot better opportunity getting price reductions. You're going to have a lot better opportunity getting that property sold because you're on top of it. If you only call them once a month and the only times you call them is to bug them about a price reduction or the lack of activity or the market's slow or whatever, they're just going to think that you're lazy. You just want to sell their house because you're being lazy. If you're aggressive, and you say, hey, I'm going to reach out to you every week, and you do it, and you are hitting home with what's going on with their property, why it's not selling, what's happening, they're going to believe you because, again, you are staying aggressive. You're staying on top of it. And if you can stay on top of it for them, they're going to take your word a lot more seriously than if they think that you're just trying to collect a check. Again, as agents, we have to overcome some of the stigmas that agents have, and fairly categorize stigmas. Most agents are lazy. Most agents are lazy. They're not doing these things. And so you will be a standout. You will be a standout if you do these things. I promise you. It will change the way that people think about you. Okay. Pending, listing, 7 days, closed. These are those clients that you sold properties to that you're not super excited about talking to. I'm going to talk to them every 180 days. So not very often. But we've got some other marketing tools that will get them touched on regularly. So it's just kind of that personal interaction. And for me, if I sell them real estate or I don't, I'm not going to sweat it. But again, they're in my database. Every single person that's in my database is a possible sale. So I'm going to make sure and leverage those, but also I'm not going to give up my inner peace here to work with people that I don't like. My goal is to sell as many homes as possible, but also not getting too stressed out with certain people that make me crazy, because some people just make me crazy. The personality type doesn't work. Maybe they are crazy. Maybe they're not nice. I don't want to work with them regardless, but maybe I found myself in a transaction with them. So my goal is to weed those people out, refer them out to agents that maybe I don't like, and take a referral fee, and move forward. So, and then trash clients, I'm never going to reach out to them. And again, I'm never going to reach out to them personally. I'm gonna have other systems that we'll talk about that will market to them. And then the last one is leads. I'm going to reach out to them every single day for 10 days. Every single day for 10 days. If they come into my system, we're going to reach out to them for every single day for 10 days until I've made contact with them. Now, a lead should only be categorized as a lead until you speak with them. 10 days of pain. That's it right there, JJ. So that person is only a lead until you've spoke with them. And in that conversation, you better figure out where they're at. You're going to make an assumption. They may hem and haw, they may be interested, they may be not. You're going to then take them out of lead. And the reason why you do that is because if they stay in lead, they're going to disappear into oblivion. They're basically going to go into what we call a stale leads pond in our system. And we don't reach out to them. They're like trash, basically. They get marketed to on an email basis. They'll get listing alerts on an email basis, but we don't reach out to them. And they could be very, very valuable people, but people also have busy lives. They have work, whatever. Give them the opportunity, 10 days. And then once you make contact with them, you are restaging them.
Hey, question for you. So, I'm trying to capture all this because I'm loving what you're doing here. And under sphere of influence, you were breaking that down before into like friends, family, people you know, agents who refer business to you. Are those all also on the 90-day cycle? Or did I miss that?
Yeah, so those are on the 90-day cycle. So past clients and sphere are going to be my very important people, right? Those are people that have already chosen to do business with me, or my friends, family, referral agents, referral clients, attorneys, CPAs. Like this could be a number of people.
Got it.
And by the way, guys, if you're not already making relationships with CPAs and attorneys, estate attorneys, those are really wonderful people that you don't have to pay referrals out to, and they'll send you a ton of business if you get the right ones lined up. JJ, what do you got?
So for us, just a little nuance there. We, instead of keeping them in the lead stage, because we want to make sure that lead is, you speed lead, right? They've been contacted. So we created another stage within Follow Up Boss as well, called attempted contact, so that we know that they've been attempted to be contacted. And then Jake has a set of rules in there where it's like, the attempted contact is, I think, every 48 hours, that person hasn't had a phone call or a text. So within those 10 days of pain, they're either getting a phone call or a text, and they won't get off of your list until that happens, until you meet that criteria. So just a little bit of a nuance, just because, like you said, if they're in that lead stage, they go into oblivion, and then we don't want, what KV Core was for us. Again, KV Core, an amazing tool, but we had like 20,000 leads in there, and it was just, just jumbled up. We don't know who's doing what. And we worked with tags as opposed to with Follow Up Boss. It's just like a glorified contact list with those stages that you're talking about. It's like you either have talked to them or you haven't talked to them. It's all about contacts. So
yeah, absolutely.
Just that little nuance there.
And Ryan, yeah, where do you put leads if you don't connect within 10 days? You don't do anything with them. Leave them in lead. I mean, this is what we would do. Leave them in lead, or what JJ says is attempted lead. And what we're going to talk about a little bit more, and I'm trying to be sensitive to time here. We got 30 minutes, is you can't rely on your brain to remember to talk to these people this often, right? And so that's where that's where Follow Up Boss wins for us. And we had a hard time with KV Core, and I can even jump in if you guys want. And Steve, thanks for being here, man. And show you how these systems actually will help you. So yeah, so you've kind of got this idea now of how often you want to speak to these people. The next part is execution. Like, how do you remember to talk to all these people, different time frames? Are you just supposed to remember all this stuff? This is ridiculous. And the answer is no. The answer is no. That would be too hard, and it would be likely not a good execution. And so what you want to do is find a system, find a CRM. There's more than one out there. That will automatically filter based on your instructions. So each one of these lists will go into the system, and we'll say, hey, I want to talk to these past clients and these Sphere people. We pair them. They're like the same. We have two different stages, and that's basically for more marketing tools down the line. If we want to send out emails to past clients, we don't necessarily want to send out, hey, thanks for using us for your real estate agent, if it goes out to all of our Sphere people who may not necessarily have bought property or sold property with us. So that's more of a second level marketing tool that we will actually separate the spheres. But practically speaking, in your follow-up, you're going to use them the same. They're going to be interchangeable people. So you tell the system, hey, I want to speak to past clients and Sphere people. I don't want to talk to anybody unless it's been more than 90 days since my last interaction with them. So your system then goes, and let me do this. Let me share my system with you really quickly. We'll jump into what this is. So this is my Follow Up Boss here. And you can see that in my personal Follow Up Boss here, and I have a team view as well, but we've got 3,400 people in my system. Okay, so you can see here that, let's jump over to Sphere people right here. And in Follow Up Boss, it's really simple, but basically each list, this is what we call smart lists. And smart lists basically help us talk to people that we, in the time frame. So this is going to include past clients in Sphere. And I want anybody on this list that has been more than 90 days since my last communication with them. So if that makes sense. So they're on those lists. It's been more than 90 days since I talked to them. And that's a big list. You'll see that that's a big list. You're not going to talk to all those people in one day. The best way that I have come up to figure that out is I figure out how many people are on both those lists. So in my case, I've got about 350 people on the past sold homes. In the last, I went back like, I think 5 or 6 years. And it was at a certain point, it became very hard to figure out who all the people I've sold homes to in the past were, but I could go back and really figure it out in the last 5 or 6 years, and with some real accuracy on who they are and where they've been. But this, I've got 350 of them every 90 days, so every 3 months. How many people do I just basically speak with to get through that list? So I need to call 8 of them a day. So, or 5 of them a day, whatever. And I don't necessarily have to, that's the one list that I do know I have to know how many people I have to talk to, because all the other lists I need to call daily, like the complete list daily. And I'll show you that. But the past client Sphere, I just know I need to talk to 5 to 8 of them a day, which sounds like a lot. The large majority of people that you call are not going to answer. So that's very important to know that if you get people picking up the phone, you might get behind, because again, the system is sort of assumes that you're going to have like 75% of the calls that you're going to make are not going to answer. So you just, again, you leave them a voicemail, you send them a follow-up text, and you move on. So so you want to have a system that does that. It basically filters each category, and you tell it how often you want to talk to them. So we have smart lists. There are a number of different systems out there that basically you give it instructions, and it will say, okay, here's who you need to talk to today. Here's who you need to talk to today. And again, I'll jump back over here really quickly so you guys can see what this looks like. So here's my follow-up boss account, right? So here's my new business right here. It says I have 24 new leads. This is going to be people that have imported their category lead. My last communication was more than 12 days ago or was less than 10 days ago, and they're a lead. And so these are leads. These are people that I have not spoke with. By virtue of their stage, I've never talked to them. I need to call and text every single one of these people. Now, I have more than 12 days ago on here now, but that doesn't necessarily hang out on here all the time because, again, like I said, if it's more than 12 days ago, unless they're active, they're going to not typically be on this list. But that's what it is right now. And you can always adjust these lists. So this is new. These are new leads. These are that 10 days of pain. Okay. Important. This is going to be last communication was more than 1 day ago. This is going to be category lead, but why priority? And again, we could talk more about lead sources, but for us, we use a program called Ylopo. They have 2 of their own categories here. And this is the AI interaction, meaning we have an artificial intelligent assistant on our websites who interacts with people that are looking at leads. And so if they pop up for whatever reason as interacting with Raya is our person, they'll generate on these 2 lists. Leads that are active. These are going to be people that I've never spoke with. I tried to get a hold of them for 10 days, but it's showing them as active on my system 18 hours ago, 20 hours ago. I called both these people yesterday. Got to call them again. And this is going to be last communication was more than 7 days ago and less than 7 days ago. So this is just kind of everybody. But they're active leads. Again, leads are where we want because we have not converted them into a relationship. Nurture list. There's nothing here. I don't have to call anybody today. Hot leads. This is what people you want to focus on. It says I have 21 people that are hot, but guess what? I spoke with already 11 of them yesterday and made contact. So guess what? I can now speak to these 10 people and get them off my list. Again, these are the warm people. Here you go. These are my warm people more than 14 days ago. There you go. These are people that I think that are going to transact. And by the way, not really a pro tip here, but a tip. And that would be work your agent organizational growth into this system. So I also take my agent organizational growth. So recruiting agents to EXP, I put them in the system as well. I tag them. I put them as a stage. What transacting would more be like when they're going to transition companies. But I'm going to put them in there. I'm going to tag them as an agent attraction. I'm going to tag them as maybe smart setter. I might tag them as broker, whatever. That'll let me know who they are. But I will work that into my workflow because as far as I'm concerned, they are another person that needs to be reached out. They are another person that needs value provided to them. And so if I don't work it into my workflow, I'll likely forget about them. And that's not what I want. So anyways, that's how it works. So you're basically calling these lists daily. And the reason why we jump into the scheduling side of things is if you don't schedule this out, guys, if you don't do it every day, it becomes easy to get lax on it. So we do 9 to 11, we do Monday through Friday, and we do it every day of the week. I don't have very many agents that actually are as dedicated to it as I am, as much as I'd like to be. But for me, being the leader in the group, I gotta lead by example. And for me, just knowing myself, if I don't every day, I'll get lax on the other end. But I have a friend in EXP. His name's Austin Chevron. He runs the Chevron group. He's a really great guy. And he does something similar here. And I've kind of stolen some of his stuff that we've integrated into our business and kind of worked our way out of it. But I think for a lot of people, his system would be really interesting to put in. And so what he does is he has what's called a run rest cycle in regards to his approach. And run rest cycle is going to be essentially, he's going to run for 3 weeks, meaning he's going to, actually, let me back up. He's going to run for 4 days a week. He's going to take Fridays off. He's going to run for 3 weeks a month and take 1 month off. Again, it's all scheduled. He has it all out for the whole year. Those weeks off for him are his vacation days. Those weeks off for him are the things that he's trying to do. Those Fridays off are his house cleaning things. If he needs to run around and get errands done, that's when he does that. So run rest. So 4 days a week, 3 weeks a month. That's every single month. You do that, right, guys? 4 days a week, 3 weeks a month. And what he does he uses Referral Maker. So he doesn't have a super dynamic smart list with staging. He is a 100% referral business. He's not buying any leads. He's not dealing with any contacts that he does not know. It is 100% referral business. And so he comes at it a little different approach. And so for those of you that have a 100% referral business, this might really speak to you. So what he does, and I'm going to lay down what and we've done this before. We did it actually. We did this for probably 5 or 6 months, and I really like this. But when you start getting a lot of leads in, it becomes a little more difficult to do this, to work this into your system. So what he does is he starts same time. He's doing 2 hours a day, but he starts every day off with 3 to 4 note cards, handwritten notes. Who knows Buffini out there? He's going 3 to 4 handwritten notes. This is a major win with people, by the way. So again, it doesn't have to be dynamic. It doesn't have to be super special. Hey, Phil, just thinking about you. Hope the family's well. Enjoy the summer. Enjoy your summer. Whatever. Once you get in the mode of writing notes, you'll have like just a massive BS note writing Rolodex in your head, and you can just start writing random things, and it kind of works for everybody. But you just start writing notes. There are going to be, if you have personal notes, personal life things that you can write about, happy birthday, whatever, a happy anniversary. Again, Facebook is a great tool for these, and you start noting your CRM on what you can write about. You give 3 to 4 notes out every day, 4 days a week. So that's what? 12 to 16 notes a week. That's 3 weeks a month. That's 45 notes a month. That's 600 notes a year. Okay. So you're writing a lot of notes every year. You're writing a lot of handwritten notes. And again, if you have 200 people that you've sold homes to, they're getting a note every 4 months, right? So that is, again, going back into the people of, man, this guy's very thoughtful. So 3 to 4 note cards. Typically takes me 30 minutes. It's ridiculous, but for some reason it takes me 30 minutes. And then after that, I'm doing 3 to 4 follow-up touching bases calls with my database. So those are going to be typically those are people that are active clients. So those are people that are searching for homes. Those are going to be people that are not under contract. Those are not under contract people. We do not deal with people in this part of our reality as an excuse to talk about existing transactions. Not existing transactions. This is only people who you want to try to transact with, or you want their referral business. So once they already go into contract, you're not going to put them in this. You're going to deal with them later. So this is people that you want to follow up with. Hey, it was good showing property to you last week. Hey, let's touch bases, whatever. 3 to 4 calls, not text messages. You are calling these people. You can also do video text on these ones, but you're getting more personal with this because this is referral business. If your business is referral only, you need to really focus on the relationship. And the remainder of the time, so at this point, you're going to be about an hour in with those conversations, maybe a little bit less, maybe 45 minutes in, you're going to do proactive calls to your database. Proactive calls to your database means it's those 2 groups of people, right? Or maybe those, it depends on how you think about it. Like Desiree has that 3rd group, that VIP group. You're going to be your past clients, your sphere, and then maybe your VIPs, your referral vendors, whatever, other agents that send you business. You're going to take the next hour and you're going to reach out and ask the question, how are you doing? How's it going? How's business? Something along those lines. And you're going to have conversations. This is a conversational part here. And again, all of this only matters. It only happens if it's in your system. So a lot of agents will be like, oh, I'm already kind of doing that. I'm already kind of doing that in my life anyways. I talk to these people regularly. Well, are you noting when you talk to them? Are you noting the last time you talked to them and what the conversation was about and what they said and what's important to them? Because guess what? If you have your system up while they're talking to you, you're noting what the conversation is about. Because again, if you're a professional, you want to remember your conversation because you're an important person to them, right? Now, you talk to 1,000 people every 6 months, you're going to forget your last conversation with them, but they're likely not going to forget their conversation with you. They don't talk to 1,000 people every 6 months, right? They talk to their agent every 4 months, and he or she is an important person that has important dialogue with them. So you're going to know what your conversation's about. And so we call those proactive calls. So you're going to make the rest of the time to your proactive calls to your database. And that's it. You might really find that you're making a lot of calls, or you might find that you're making very few calls. You might be only reaching out, having 6 or 7 conversations a day. A lot of agents feel like they can't call their clients between 8 and 11 a.m. I'm calling BS on this. People have jobs, but that's what voicemail is for, guys. So if they can pick up, they will. If they can't, they won't. But 100% leave voicemails. And don't call your, again, if we're gonna give people the idea that we're professionals, which we want to be, stop calling your clients after 6 o'clock, unless you absolutely have to. Stop calling them after 6 o'clock. Does your doctor call you after 6 o'clock? Does your lawyer call you after 6 o'clock? No, because they're professionals, because they have boundaries with their clients. You need to have boundaries with your clients and set the tone with your clients that, hey, I'm here early, I'm hitting it, I'm calling my clients. If you can't talk, great, we'll follow up with you tomorrow, right? I'll follow up with you the next day. If they call you at 9 o'clock, again, you can pick up the phone. If they call you Christmas morning, you can pick up the phone. But if you want to lessen the chaos, which is a big part for me, start setting boundaries with your clients. A big part of this is just setting boundaries with your clients. So anyways, any questions on that? So that's going to be the run rest cycle. That's going to be more of a referral based business. The first model that we talked about is 100% good for a referral based business too. It's just a little bit more of a dynamic CRM presence. So both are great systems. Both are wonderful in regards to how you approach them. It's just what works for you. I did not touch on, go ahead, Jeff.
Well, one thing I want to make sure that people are kind of cluing into here, because what occurs to me is that what differentiates you from a lot of agents that I talk to out there, and not all, I mean, we got some amazing like turbo producers on this call. It's awesome. And I will say, when you talk to top producing agents, the thing that's always the same is that their success is not accidental. It's not like Kevin wasn't like, oh, I just remembered the 3,200 people I need to call. It's like, he can't possibly put that much volume into his brain. And by outsourcing that, it allows him to run at a lower stress level. Because we've all had that. How many people remember early on in your career, you had like 10 leads and you're like falling apart, right? Like 10 people you've got to keep in touch with. And you just feel like, blah, 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 I don't even know who I'm supposed to do, what the blah, 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 blah. And it just feels like you're falling apart at the seams. A well-organized, well-thought-out system allows you to be able to go from 10 people that you can remember to 10,000 people that you don't have to remember, but they believe that you're remembering them. Way different business on the heels of that. And I see Chad's hand is up. I don't want to miss him. Chad, are you still there, brother?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to reach out on like that last point, because I think that you're right. It's all about the, oh, they remembered me and, they're still communicating with me. But I want to ask, where does that person with the voicemail go? Let's say, on any list, past client, whatever. Is that person now rotated into your time frame, or did you consider that as a contact, or how does that happen?
Yeah, good question, Chad. So again, every contact that you make, every attempt that you make, I don't know if I said this, but I'm sorry if I didn't, you need to be noting the system. So you note the system, not only on when you called them, but what the outcome was of that. And so a phone call that you got to the voicemail 100% counts as a communication, 100%. You cannot guarantee these people that you're going to talk to them. In fact, you should pretty much count on most of them not having a personal interaction with them, because people are busy and they have a life, right? Now you might catch them, and a lot of these people call back, by the way. So I'll talk a little bit more about what that callback looks like, but we got 10 minutes and I want to get to it. But yes, 100%, you're going to note them as reached out. And I will say, got voicemail, left message, right? I might even say what it was about. And I'm going to move on. And I'm going to do that over and over again. In my system, if I get a voicemail, I send a follow-up text. Especially if it's not a sphere person, if it's a lead, I'm going to follow up a text and say, hey, Bill, it's Kevin Hawkins. I just left you a voicemail. I just want to touch bases because the text message will kind of go like this. I want to touch bases because you'd inquired about a property, and I just want to make sure if you need something, I was here for you. I just want to help. Let me know what I can do. I have templates. So I don't write that every time. I have templates. It basically has a little bracket thing that fills in their first name, and it has the property, and it basically, I just click template, buyer interest, boom, it goes. And we don't build these templates. I didn't build these templates. Way too dumb to do that kind of thing. They're already built in. We can leverage a lot of these Follow Up Boss, KV Core, tech people, and a lot of the communities that are within each one of these. You can go on Facebook and you can find a KV Core community, a Follow Up Boss community, a Lion Desk, whatever. They've got communities of people who totally nerd out on this kind of stuff, and you can get their lists. Call your upline. For me, a lot of this stuff comes from Jake Rockwell. I mean, like, I just steal his stuff because he nerds out on these templates, and I take them because I love them. They're great, and I let him do them, and I take them. Don't be afraid to take other people's stuff. This is really, it's not about the flex of creating it. It's more about just getting value to your clients. So that's what I do. Okay, power 10 minutes here, guys. So we've got through the system. That's it, really. You do those things. You get them in the system. You get a CRM. You reach out to them. You get systematic about it. It's going to change your life. I promise. It will 100% change your life, because, and it may not necessarily double your business. It may not triple your business right away. This is a long game, but you 100% will start seeing the interactions with your clients as more of a, wow, I'm seriously impressed with the fact that you remembered to call me. Wow, I'm seriously impressed that you are so relentless. And you start seeing this, and it's all about just that snowball, getting that momentum going, getting that snowball of business growing. And this is a long game. And then just sit back. And after you do this, you'll also realize that your loose ends are tied up because you've given 2 hours every day. You've given 1 hour every day to this. And for those of you that say you're too busy to give this much time, that's insanity, I'm crazy. Well, guess what? It's not that I'm so much busier than you, but I know that the best real estate agents in the world do this for more time than they are doing everything else. They give this the most time because they know that this is you get a compounded business experience here of time. So if you say, I'm going to dedicate this amount of time to all of these things, first of all, if you give it the focus, you're going to get 10 times the business done that you would normally do, because that's all you're doing. You're not taking calls from clients, you're not taking calls from escrow officers, lenders, whatever. Block it out, turn your phone off, whatever it takes. You are only doing this. It does not, nothing impedes on the lead generating, because again, if you start letting things slip in, then you start getting distracted. This is all about focus time blocking for yourself. Okay, a couple little things. I'm going to say this part is going to be taking your follow-up to the next level. Okay, so you can, once you get a system that you really like, you can start leveraging other systems, some of these plugins that we've been talking about, some of these plugins to really get super thorough. So let's see here. Use your CRM that will allow you to integrate. So you have an integrated calendar, an integrated email, integrated text messages, phone calls. And so then if you get a system that allows you to text from your phone, to take phone calls from your phone, has an app that will basically route you into your CRM, then all day long, your interactions with your clients from your database are automatically being logged into your CRM. It's recording your conversations. It's also, if like, let's say it's after lead generating hour and I speak with one of my Sphere people, and since I'm not in lead generating, I'm not necessarily going to remember to go in the next day and log that conversation, because that would be a pain in the butt. And that's what I would do before. But now if I use my system from my phone, it recognizes when somebody on my list of clients calls me, it recognizes on my phone and it logs that as a call in my system. So now I've got clients that are calling me directly. I pick up the phone, guess what? It's logged in the system. It's already logged. I don't have to do it. It's automatic. So that is going to be super powerful. Calendar, same way. Let's jump into this. Check this out. This is awesome. Again, looking like a pro. I'm going to use my wife here as a client because let me see if I can get this thing out of the way. There we go. So if I have any client, no matter what, an appointment comes up, that let's say they want to look at a property, showing a house, right? So I'm going to type in show a house. I'm going to give a description. I'm going to jump into here, showing a property tomorrow, right? At 12:30, boom. And guess what? Send invitation and email text reminder. So what does that do? First of all, it's going to send me, oh, there we go right there. I just got it. Can you see that? Let's see here. I just got an email reminder, calendar invite. So it goes to my email. It also goes on my calendar now. So it's on my calendar already from tomorrow at 12:30. But more importantly, it goes to the client. It goes on their calendar because you just sent it to their email. And it reminds them an hour before the appointment. And again, not that what this isn't to like help them show up on time or something. This is to help them think that you're awesome. That's it, right? So like if you go to a system, if you go to any professional and at least I do, I get a reminder the moment I walk out of that office with an appointment, sweet. And then an hour before the appointment, I get a reminder of, hey, this is where you're going to be. And this is when you're going to be there. I'm busy enough to where I love that. I like absolutely love people reminding me. And so a system that says, dude, this guy, this lady, she is so on top of it. She literally reminds me with an email and a calendar invite every single time we do something. Does not matter. She always does it. It's like, dude, you're a gangster. People love that. People absolutely love that. So get a system. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah. Are you doing that through your CRM, or are you outsourcing that to like Calendly or,
No, that's through the CRM.
Legit. Yeah.
And
I just want to mention for people who don't have that integrated, calendly.com, I'll put it in the chat as well. Is so long as you're not doing more than one single calendar, which I honestly can't think of a reason why you probably would need one. You can use calendly.com for free to be able to do this, and you could cross integrate it with other systems. I like what you're doing better. I just want to give people other options.
No, Calendly is legit. And if I didn't have it integrated in my system, I would use that. And going on to the multiple calendars, I used to have like 1,000 calendars. But the reason why Jeff is saying is you don't need them is because it starts throwing your systems off. If you start having 50 calendars, it makes it very complicated to speak to the systems. And so having one calendar, one dedicated email with one calendar that you really use, that's really going to be a winning system there. Okay, next one. So the next one is going to be an easy one and a hard one. And this is just going to be utilizing weekly email. This was talked about at EXPCon, and I started doing this after EXPCon. Gosh, I feel like it was Dan Beers or somebody talking about this weekly email, and Ricky Caruth talks about this, and I hate emails. I really, really hate them with a passion, but I started doing this, and it's not very complicated. It's also a really wonderful tool to reach out to your clients every week, especially those people that you don't want to talk to. You're sending an email out to the entire database. Again, I do this through MailChimp. It plugs directly in. That costs a little bit of money, but it's a very pretty, it looks very pro. You can also provide links to new listings. You can also provide links to your website, your social media, your YouTube channel. All of that goes in there, and people can really get an idea of what you're about. Weekly emails, and in your weekly emails, my advice is to write them yourself. My advice to them is get personal, do community stuff. If you want to poke around and say, hey, here's best 5 restaurant information. But again, it's just stuff from I'll send an email that says, hey, it's Christmas time, and I wanted to let you guys know why I feel so blessed. And I'll write a short email of where I feel, like God's really blessed my life. Like, again, getting personal with your clients is important. Again, you want them to feel like that's a really big deal. Doing that weekly emails. And if you're lazy, that's okay. I'm lazy. I'm really lazy when it comes to this kind of stuff. If you want to basically do a weekly email, but you don't have the energy. And then besides that, the last thing that I would focus on is use this system to also schedule your events. If you're not doing events, and this is client events. So we're doing two large client events a year. We're doing a winter one that's bought homes in the last 2 or 3 years, and we're paying for everything. And again, if you're a solo agent, you're going to have, between 10 and 100 people, depending on how busy you are, and, rent a restaurant, buy drinks, whatever. It doesn't have to be huge. I rented, recently we rented the bowling alley, and that's a cheap date. It's like a white trash party. We had a great time. We had 250 clients there. Drinks and food was all free. It was a ball. People absolutely loved it. I was totally surprised. But doing those sorts of things, doing those events is going to be game changers, because your clients, again, realize you're on top of your stuff. So anyways, the real last but not least thing here, guys, is stay disciplined and don't stop. Don't stop doing it. That's really it. If you do it and you don't stop, you can't lose. We're in a crazy real estate environment right now, and you can't get soft. You've got to get hard. You've got to get aggressive. And by doing these things, you will win. Guaranteed, there's no losing. That's all I got,
love
guys.
it. Man, that like literally down to the wire. That is unreal. The clock just ticked over on my end. So that is freaking believable. And by the way, if you guys got massive value out of today, just hit us up with a yes or a me in the chat. I always like knowing that everybody's like just been able to stay in. It takes like an amazing type of business owner. Thanks, JJ. Thanks, Chad. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, it's, you know, like to be able to stay plugged in. Leah, Krista, appreciate you guys. Yeah, you know, because it's a lot of information. It's like, how am I going to do all this? Mike, Christine, Becky. Oh, man, we're getting a lot of love here. That's awesome, dude. And so here's what we're also going to do. Well, I went ahead and took some comprehensive notes on this in case you guys weren't jotting them down. We'll post that inside the community center for all of you. If you go back on the replay on this and you want to understand, like, what were those pipeline stages, or what were the different categories you were using for buckets in the system and all that kind of stuff. And how often was I engaging with everybody? We went ahead and got that all jotted down so that you can have it. Kevin, you're a pro, dude. Like, this is awesome. I absolutely love this. We got to have you back. You going to come back another time?
Absolutely, guys. Hey, it's a pleasure. And I'll tell you, these are all things that sounds complicated.
I think we're a little glitchy on the tech right now. All right, I'm going to summarize what Kevin was about to say.
Once you get in front of system,
Kevin, I think we lost you for a second, bro. Sounds complicated. Just do it. And if you have any questions, reach out to Kevin. We'll also put your contact information in there in case anybody needs to hit you up, ask for some advice or some strategic approaches. All right, everyone. Hey, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you all so much for, as always, being the very best part of the community. We appreciate you guys. And let's go have a great week. Start your new lead generation diet. Be purposeful and productive this week. Don't be accidental with your business, guys. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.